There seems to be a slight difference in appearance between the Purge Troopers in the Obi-Wan Kenobi show and their appearances in the video games and comics. Before, the Purge Troopers were initially shown to look like this, kind of evoking a clone trooper paratrooper look. When we see them in the show, however, they have a bit of a change, now looking closer to the typical Imperial Stormtrooper. This seems to be their upgraded appearance, mimicking the evolution of the clone trooper armor with the Phase 1 and Phase 2 distinctions. Phase 1 looked like this, and the Phase 2 armor looked like this. This does seem a bit fitting, as the first Purge Troopers to go into active service were actually the last batches of the clone troopers that were made on Kamino that didn't see any action during the Clone Wars. So it does seem to make sense that the first iteration of the Purge Trooper armor looked closer to the Clone Trooper armor. However, by the year 9BBY, the updated Phase 2 armor began to see more use. However, I want to rewind the clock a bit, and I suppose I also want to fast forward the clock a bit too, ironically. Back in 2015, the Canon mobile game Uprising introduced us to Purge Troopers, though as far as we know, these Purge Troopers serve a slightly different purpose and are not meant to be like the Purge Troopers of the Inquisitorius. But what if they are? This is all merely just a theory, so keep that in mind. But I would like to call attention to the similarities of the Purge Troopers of the mobile game and the Purge Troopers that we are familiar with. The Purge Troopers from Uprising are physically distinct from the other types of troopers, though there are clear similarities, not just in their color scheme but also in their armor design. The animated nature of the game does embellish on some physical characteristics of these Purge Troopers, but aside from that, they do look close in appearance. Additionally, they serve a similar purpose. These Purge Troopers from the game were stationed in the Anowat sector, where the Imperials that were stationed there had heard of Emperor Palpatine's death and created a blockade around the sector to prevent citizens from leaving or arriving. The Imperial in charge of the Anowat sector used these Purge Troopers to hunt down and purge anyone that knew of Palpatine's death or the Empire's defeat at Endor. This is a very similar directive to the Purge Troopers of the Inquisitorius. They hunted down Jedi and Force sensitives. These two types of Purge Troopers share a very similar skill set. Additionally, by the time of the Battle of Endor, most of the Inquisitorius was defunct. Their leader was dead, and most of the Inquisitors were also dead. So what was there for the Purge Troopers to do? My ultimate theory here is that the Purge Troopers seen in Uprising are wearing the third iteration of Purge Trooper armor, Phase 3. I think that with the Inquisitorius pretty much a bygone organization, the Empire decided to continue to use the Purge Troopers for other purposes, as they had proven to be useful over the last 20 years, considering their abilities to hunt down and defeat Jedi.